Yo, what's up, everybody? It's been a while since I talked to you guys, but hey, I've been working, so figured I'll give you guys a quick update. You might hear the noise in the background, right now. Happens to be Saturday, and I'm running a marathon live stream, so excuse my music there. But as you can see here, the Acura is no longer here. Well, it's here, but it's going to the house tomorrow. I'm gonna give it its maiden voyage. I got the cradle in, etc., etc. And full disclosure, they partially fixed the issue, but not 100%. But it's good enough to drive. So on that note, I'm taking it home. Want to free up this space anyway, so we can focus on the 63. I'll be doing some work on that coming up soon. Still need to do some work on this 63 also. Specifically the door locks, and I want to do some work under the hood, cleaning up the engine bay, etc. I did a little bit of work on the Fleetwood today. It's been a while since we touched this car, but while the area is predominantly dry, I went ahead and pulled the engine back out, and I just finished spraying down the whole engine bay with engine degreaser, the foamy stuff, and it is just now starting to dissolve, etc. But yeah, I mean, under here wasn't that dirty, but right in the middle, the cross member there, it was kind of filthy. So, but I went ahead and sprayed everything, 2 bottles, and we're letting that do its magic. And we'll probably come back and hit it again with a couple more. But reason being, I want to start working back on this car. So, unfortunately, we got scammed on this engine. And it has a broken block. So in the back here, right there, bam, all bad, So based on that, I'm not gonna use it. We'll probably use it for parts at some point or another, but yeah, it's unfortunate. But I pulled it out, just stuck it here for now, and I'll probably throw some plastic over it to keep the moisture out as best as possible. It's still got good parts on it, but yeah, we're not even gonna use that. So yeah, back to reality now. So I'm going back and forth on what exactly I'm gonna do, but more and more I'm leaning towards going ahead and just putting the LS engine in here. I have one sitting on the stand. I have a transmission as well, a 2-wheel drive 4L60E. I know those transmissions are not the greatest, but hey, it's electronic transmission, and it'll work great with the 6.0 LS I have. So thinking about just more so focusing on that. Since we already got burned trying to take an easy route, we might as well go ahead, and if we're going to take on a challenge, we'll do something that's going to make us happy in the long run. So that's where I'm at with that. The only issue is, even with running the LS, I'm gonna have to spend some money. And right now it's the holiday, so I'm just getting prepared to go hard on it. Okay, so meaning I want to clean everything up, get this area, painted in or cleaned up as best as possible with some nice chassis black paint, and start mocking up the engine. I already have the oil pan I need. I have the motor side mounts, but what I need for the frame side, I'm not 100% sure. I do have some new V8 engine mounts, but I don't know. I gotta see how things fit in here. Maybe these locations where these mounts are is fine, or maybe I'm gonna need to relocate them and fabricate something. So whatever the case may be, we'll get it figured out. And then I also was going back and forth. Well, maybe I could just use this transmission, and then I would be good in terms of the drive shaft. I wouldn't have to change anything there, and it would be a more seamless install. But at the same time, it's like, well, I already have the electronic 4L60E. It's like, maybe I'd be better off throwing that in here and, modernizing the entire setup. Not just the engine, but also the transmission too. And then I could use this transmission and maybe the blue 63, And with that car, I don't know, if we come across the LS, we may drop it in there too. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the engine setup on that car yet, but I'm gonna be working on it soon. You guys may remember, sorry I'm all over the place, but just giving you guys a general shop update. We're on this right now and we'll be doing some more to it soon. But we're also on this car, 63, the blue 63. I opted to, I had remember I told you guys I had some issues with the hood alignment. As you can see here, right, like the gap is a little bit off there and on both sides. Like it's way too far over on this side. So more and more I was looking at it, and I really think it is the fact that the hinges that I put on this car are a little bit bent, So I hollered at my boy. He's got some good hinges. We just got to connect so that I can get those hinges and get those on there. The thing I want to do is get this front end situated before I move on to the back, because I need to do some work back here. This is where really my heavy work is right now. I got to finish up what I started with the sheet metal. I putting this trunk pan in, and everything is just kind of sitting in place right now, but I need to get this in here, all the stuff you need to latch it down. I got new quarters here. I got to replace the drip rails, a lot of sheet metal and welding type work. So that's the stuff I'm going to be trying to focus on during the winter, because I want to get this car together too. We got the red one mostly together. It's not A1, but it's good enough to where it'll be cruisable come springtime. And I'm trying to get this one right there behind it, where as soon as the weather breaks, I can just paint it, throw some wheels on it, drop a motor and trans in it, and good to go. Because I don't know if I ever really showed you guys, but this thing has a decent interior. I got it piled up with all kind of junk right now, but the seats are good. Nice blue seats. Door panels are questionable. Needs a carpet, and I got to do something with the steering wheel. I got a whole steering column in the corner for it, but long story short, it's not going to take much to get this car together. I mean, if you look at it, it's a nice car. So the idea is to get this bad boy ready, as well as this one. I want to enjoy them a little bit, but at the same time, I might just sell both of them. But I want to get this one just as good as the red one, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Unless somebody has to have it and they want to do the project themselves and their way and they just cash me out, then that's a whole different story. But we'll see. My idea is to get them ready, drive them a couple times and sell them. I'm not in love with those cars. My cars at the top go down on, convertibles, gotta have them, keeping them. And I'm not so sure, maybe the same with the Fleety, the Fleetwood right here. It was very hard to find. And man, this car, I went through a lot of trials and tribulations just to get it. And ironically, that engine and transmission, that 6.0 and that transmission 4L60E that I have, they actually came with this car. So they're originally meant for this car. The only thing I wasn't able to get in the deal was some 24-inch Daytons. I just didn't have enough money, But I got the car, and, this has the whole 90s conversion setup. I got all the moldings and everything in the trunk, man. So it's just a matter of getting serious about it, getting the engine and transmission in here, getting stuff painted and cleaned up, and putting it on the road, man. It's not like rocket science. So I think I'm gonna stop BSing and focus on this and get it together. But likewise, I want to stay focused on that 63 as well. My only delay right now is the fact that I'm waiting on those hinges. But really, that's a poor excuse. I could be doing some work in the trunk. But I'm doing a whole lot all at once. I'm trying to get the Acura removed. I'm trying to work on this car, and it's been like really cold, man. It's like 18 degrees Fahrenheit here, so I don't know what that translates to C, but it's cold, very, very cold. Today is a little bit better, and we'll have a small break in the weather tomorrow. But all I'm getting at is when it's cold like that, I don't do a whole lot of work. So my motivation is up though. I'm gonna try and see what I can get done. And so I just encourage you guys to stick around and stay tuned. There's no telling what I may post. Okay, I do have some content I recorded on the Acura, but I just opted not to post it because those videos just weren't doing very well at all. People don't seem too interested. You know, it's an old school channel. You guys want to see these kind of cars, so that's where it's at. The Cadillac is in the mix officially. We're working on it. I snatched that janky motor out. Bam, it's in the penalty box. And we're gonna throw the LS up in there. All right, so LS is over here chilling on the stand. I got it covered up because it gets kind of wet over here. But boom, 6.0. Turns. You know, no issues there. I had already started cleaning it up a little bit, but I could do some more and paint it. I didn't really clean the oil pan up much because I got a fresh one on the shelf in the box. One of the, I forget exactly what they call it, but it's like the Holly low profile so that you need with the smaller sump so it can clear the cross member and not be hanging all crazy low, etc. So I got that. The transmission is here. It's got, you know, a harness and all kind of stuff on top of it, and it's sitting on one of these rolling things right there. So a little hard to make it out, but got the transmission there. And yeah, it's just a matter of putting it together. I have a computer for it too, but it's not the one I need. It's the original one that came with it. I think this came out of a Denali or something like that. It's tucked away. But yeah, we're not gonna use that original harness or the computer. I need to buy a computer that's got the VATs already unlocked. That's the vehicle automated theft system or something like that. We need that purged out of the ECU and a bass tune. And I don't know, I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do on the harness. You know, I could rework the original harness that I have here and make it work. We may start with that just to get the car running, but I may just opt to spend the money and put a nice harness on there that'll have all this stuff stripped out that we don't need. But anyway, all I'm getting at is we got what we need to at least start to mock it up and see if we can't get it dropped in here. You know, the engine and trans is set in place. But before I do that, I just want to finish the cleanup. And that's where it's a little bit of a problem because it's cold. But over the next couple of days, I'm going to try to clean this frame up as best as possible and see if I can't get it all painted chassis black. Once we get the chassis black paint down, then we'll be able to put that engine and trans together and drop them in, you know? And we'll see how things go from there, what modifications we may or may not need to make. And yeah, take it from there. You know, that's the real hard part, is getting it just set in place and where you need it. And then everything else should be downhill, you know? Figuring out what you got to do with the drive shaft or the transmission mount or the exhaust headers, etc. That's another thing. I don't have any exhaust headers for it. I need to get those. I already know I'm going to have to make some changes on the exhaust. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. You know, this car stuff, we're going to work on it together. Just with all the other projects, there's no deadline other than the fact that I'd like to drive this thing in the spring. So with that said, I got a lot of pressure on myself because I also want to drive both of these trays in the spring. So stick with me and help keep me motivated, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Adjust the bell notification so you don't miss any of the content. And, you know, if you feel so inclined, share it with your people. I'd appreciate that. Thanks again, guys. I'm your host, Shawnee C, here at Motor City Customs, Detroit, Michigan. And we're doing it the right way, the best way, the only way we know how, the low rider style. Motor City Customs, out of the city. That's right. Stay tuned. We're out of here. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Peace. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So I decided to show my face today. You guys haven't seen me in a while. But yeah, so in the clip you saw before this, I basically gave you guys the whole rundown on what's going on. I'm working on the Fleetwood behind me, right? We just pulled the engine out of that we had tried to place in there before. We unfortunately realized it had cracked block at one of the most important parts, right? So we couldn't use it. The car behind me, red 63. We got some light work to do on that, and we'll be working on that little by little, but also blue 63 in the rear over here. I'm working on it, man. I'm still hoping Santa Claus brings me some camera gear so I can give you guys much better content. And you know what? I'm slipping because I did actually invest in microphones, some Bluetooth microphones, but I only hooked it up one time to test it, got it working, and I haven't tried it since. I just put it back in the pouch and completely forgot today. So we'll try it another time, maybe sometime before the new year. But anyway, getting ready to get going on this a little bit more, and basically everything in the shop, right? It's winter time. When it's cold, I don't do a whole lot, but I'm gonna try and do what I can. But just be expecting that I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit and touching every car just a little bit, you know. All in all, hopefully those little bit here, a little bit there adds up to a lot at the end of the road. And by the time spring rolls around, we'll be in good shape to really enjoy the fruits of our labor. So that's the plan, that's the objective. Doesn't always work out like that, but let's hope for the best. And yeah, that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed the updates and enjoyed this little glimpse of what's happening at the shop. It's the holiday season, a lot going on. So I don't know how much I'm gonna be up here working. You know, a lot of other obligations, etc. It's the end of the year, a lot of stuff to take care of at the day job. Likewise, a lot of things to take care of here and preparing for the future, 2025. Let's hope that everybody has a great new year. Everybody stay safe out there too, right? There's a lot of people who tend to go a little overboard. So just be safe. You're not always looking out for yourself, but you gotta be defensive too. A lot of crazy people on the road, a lot of people overdoing it and trying to turn up a little bit too much. So just keep your eyes and ears open, be safe. It's also the season for people out there trying to hit a lick, trying to come up with a few dollars for the holiday. So watch your back, keep your head on a swivel, and keep doing you, you know. All in all, enjoy the holidays, spend some time with friends and family, and do your thing. But if you can, stay tuned, because like I said, I got a little bit going on, a little bit I want to show you guys. So stick around for that. I'm your host, Shawnee C. We're here at Motor City Customs, and appreciate everyone that you hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and just stick around. We'll be back in the very near future. Shawnee C out.